Dressed a little bit different. Usually I dress a little bit more casual, but I have more of a summer vibe going on right now. It's beautiful weather here, so I thought I'd dress for the occasion. Welcome back to my channel, and I'm going to be sharing 6 networking tips that you should do if you're in college. Hello squad, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Trinidad Sanchez, and on this channel I share first generation college tips for incoming college students or those who are already attending college. I also vlog about my college experience, so make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't had the chance already. Hit that little notification bell so that way you can know when my newest content is released. Also, if you have any questions, you can hit me up on Instagram. I'm on there pretty frequently, so if you have any questions that come up during your college experience, you could always send me that DM, and I'll be more than happy to help out wherever I can. Also, don't forget to smash the like button, so that way the YouTube algorithm will also share with other college students that are looking for ways to navigate college. In addition to that, feel free to share this video if you think that other college students are going to find this helpful. This is something that I've kind of learned over my experience, but without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and dive into these 6 tips that will help you if you're a current college student and getting ready to start networking. Lastly, make sure you stick around to the end because I'm going to be providing a little bonus that's going to also help you out when you're networking with other individuals. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the material. So tip number 1, create a Handshake and a LinkedIn. So first, Handshake is a student application that's provided from most colleges, at least from what I've seen. It's a really popular application that they have for job postings and also virtual events for recruiters. I've used it personally myself. However, although most students will consider just using Handshake, I really recommend that you create a LinkedIn page as well. Although most students consider using Handshake, I really still highly recommend to create a LinkedIn page. LinkedIn is similar to Handshake in the aspect that there's job postings, virtual events, but there's obviously a lot more that you're able to do on LinkedIn, so I really recommend to create that. The reason why you want to create a LinkedIn is because throughout your college experience, you're going to meet different people and you're going to come in relationships with people, and this is the way you're going to want to create these connections. You're going to want to add them, stay in contact with these people throughout your college experience, because down the road, you never know if there's ever going to be an opportunity. And if you know somebody through a class, or if you know a professor, or if you know another recruiter, then they'll be able to give you that job opportunity down the line. And LinkedIn is going to be a great tool to use when you're staying in contact with all these other students that you meet as you're going through college. Tip number 2, so after you went ahead and created a LinkedIn and a Handshake account, you're going to want to connect with your career center. Your college career center on campus is going to provide a lot of different resources. I know that a lot of students don't really use them as often. I've heard because they're either not ready, or they don't know what career they want to get into, or they just never have the time to do it, but I really recommend to use that resource on campus. As you begin college, I know it could be difficult kind of figuring out what career you want to get into. The College Career Center will be able to help you out in determining what it is that you might want to do, or being able to provide you like a personality test to figure out what it is that you enjoy. So I recommend using them even if you have no idea what field you want to get into yet. However, most importantly, they will be able to help you with your resume building. So if you have a resume and you're not entirely sure like how to format it or build it, there's somebody that are going to be able to help you and provide resources that's going to help you build your resume, so that way you stand out in future like job fairs or meeting other professionals. They also provide other resources like VMock, and also they help you prepare for your interviews. So if you're somebody that has never interviewed before, they will provide you some questions that you'll be able to answer in front of them, and they'll give you feedback on how to build off of it. Take advantage of your College Career Center, because that's something that you have free right now, and down the line that's something a lot of people pay for. So if you have the opportunity, take advantage of it now. Tip number 3, network with your professors, recruiters, and other students. So kind of building off from tip number 2, once you have your resume ready to go and you feel like you have a really good standing on like what you want to do, you're going to want to start networking. Now, professors, a lot of the times they'll send out job postings or opportunities for internships. Recruiters, you'll be able to meet at career fairs, and other students might be able to even get you an internship just by knowing you and seeing the work that you do in your classes. I've personally got an internship that way because I knew another student, and we were able to make that connection, and he redirected me to his manager because there was an open opportunity for an internship. So maintaining these connections are super important. So once you start meeting professors and other professionals, you're going to want to go ahead and add them on LinkedIn. This is the reason why you have the account. Take advantage of it. So when you meet them, make sure you stay in connection with them, because you never know. Like I said, you're going to have an opportunity down the line for them just because you know them, and there could be doors that open up for you. So make sure you stay in connection with these other people. Also, continue to water the relationship. And what I mean by that is that you don't want to just send them a DM in the future saying, hey, I was in your chemistry class and I saw that you had an opportunity for this role at your company. Can you get me a job? Although many people do this, you don't really want to do that. You want to have like a rapport with people. You always want to like have that relationship. So make sure you're touching base with people every now and then, even though you're not looking for a job now. Because if you're authentic and you're connecting with others and you're just seeing how they're doing, you're going to always be in the back of their mind. And when an opportunity comes up, they'll hit you up because you were somebody that genuinely care about them and their company. So make sure that you continue to check in with others. That's a no-go, so definitely don't just hit them up for opportunities. Check in with them. Tip number 4 is I recommend to find a mentor throughout the process. As you're starting to like connect with others and you foster these relationships and you're checking in with other people, seeing how that they're doing, maybe you should consider looking at what field that they're in and what they're actually doing right now, because there's chances are they're already experienced in the field that they're doing, or they have a friend of somebody that is in the field that you want to get into. And if you're able to find a mentor to kind of ask what their day-to-day is like, what is it that they had to develop in the skill set area, asking them like what are certain personality traits that somebody needs to work in this field, it's going to put you a lot more ahead than others because you already have that information. You're able to develop that while you're in college, and if you wait until you graduate, it's going to be a little bit more challenging to wait until the end to be able to start fostering those relationships. So as you begin your college journey as a freshman, sophomore, junior, whatever timeline you're in, it'll be a lot more easier for you and you're able to have more time to develop those areas. And also, if you don't know anybody personally, that's totally fine, because like I said, on LinkedIn, there's people that know people and you could always send them a direct message and say, hey, you know what, I want to learn about this compensation field and human resources. Would you be able to mentor me or sit down with you for 30 minutes to do an informational interview? Most of the times, they love doing that. They love to help up and coming professionals or aspiring students. So a lot of the times you're not going to really get denied, or they're not going to steer you away. They love to help you out, so make sure you take the chance to do that as well. Look at your network. Also, it doesn't necessarily have to only be on LinkedIn. You could also connect with friends or family members that may know somebody in the field that you want to get into. So just kind of look at your community, look at who's your friends right now, look at what their parents do, maybe even consider professors, friends of professors. Whatever it is, don't limit yourself, go for it, and look at your network of people that you have currently. For example, I have one of my friends, her mom works in HR, and I was able to ask her questions about getting into HR. Because me as a first generation college student, I don't have anybody in my family that had gone to college or works in the human resource field. So it was really helpful for me to just connect with her mom and kind of get an idea of like how it is working in that field. So kind of think out the box like that. It doesn't always have to be in college, but it could be really anywhere in your community. Tip number 5, which is probably everybody's least favorite, but it builds up on the other tips that I recommended so far, is striking up a conversation with people. So a lot of the times when you're out and about, you'll end up running into somebody. So like, for example, you could be at a coffee shop in line and somebody's getting ready to go to work, because you can kind of tell like that they're getting ready to start their day, right? You could always strike up conversations being like, you know, hey, what cup of coffee did you get? Do you recommend it? And then just kind of build off the conversation like that. A lot of times people feel super uncomfortable to do that, but sometimes finding common ground first can ease a way to a conversation. You don't want to be super random, but I believe that if you strike these conversations, you stand out more, because it shows that you have the ability to communicate and connect with other people. And not many people have that skill set to connect with people that they don't know. So it helps you stand out. Another area that you can strike up conversations on is at job fairs. You don't necessarily have to go to specific companies that you want to work for, right? Sometimes just going up to the job fair and just having some general sense idea of what they do and just having those conversations is really helpful. You don't always have to be super overly prepared, but I believe that if you connect with a recruiter and you'd have a general idea of like what they do and just making those connections and then connecting with them on LinkedIn, they'll remember you in the future. As long as you continue to water that relationship, like I told you before, checking in on them, making sure that they're okay, because then you'll come to mind when an opportunity comes up for you. And still continuing about job fairs, make sure you have a sales pitch ready. And I don't mean sales pitch as if you're selling something, but you're selling yourself, right? Really, at the end of the day, you're trying to get a job and a career opportunity lined up for you. So make sure that you have something ready to kind of promote yourself to the recruiter or professional that you're talking to. And tip number 6, the last tip, is go to local events in your area to network. I'm not entirely sure if they have this on LinkedIn, but sometimes you could see events that are happening within the area of where you live at. Sometimes I go on Facebook and just kind of see what's going on in the community. And if there's like events that are happening within San Jose, then I will typically try to go to them if I can. And that way I can network with other professionals there. It also doesn't have to be events like that. It could be just pretty much volunteer work. If you're somebody that likes to volunteer their time and like kind of help out, that's another form of networking itself. And being able to put yourself out there like that really gives you an advantage as well on your resume. So take the chance to do that as well. Also, don't forget to smash the like button, so that way the YouTube algorithm will also share with other college students that are looking for ways to navigate college. In addition to that, feel free to share this video if you think that other college students are going to find this helpful. This is something that I've kind of learned over my experience. All right, so we're at the end of the video, and like I said, I have a bonus tip for you guys. This I found personally useful, and I was able to pick it off from another friend liking a status, and I remembered it always with me. So let's say, for example, you wanted to work at a company like Adobe, or let's say you want to work at a company like Apple or a company like Microsoft. You could look up the company and you're able to filter what colleges or universities those employees went to in that company. It's really cool because if you go to a specific university, you can see who went to that university as well that works in that company. And that way you feel more comfortable at connecting with those professionals and getting in contact with them on how to get into their company. And if you're able to do that early on, chances are you're going to have a better shot at getting into that job that you're looking for. You could also filter based off of the department that they're in or what they studied. So it's a really useful tool to use if you have a LinkedIn. Keep in mind, networking is really, really powerful. As important as it is to get good grades, sometimes I firmly believe that it's not what you know, it's who you know. Take that with a grain of salt because it is important to know what you know, but sometimes knowing somebody really opens the door for you. So I really recommend to network if you have not had the chance yet or you're getting ready to start college. So thank you again. I hope you found these tips useful. These are something that I've kind of learned over time as I kind of went through college. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you smash that like button. Also subscribe below for more weekly videos on college tips or vlogs about my experience. And if you have the opportunity, follow me on Instagram. If you have any questions, you could always hit me up on there. I'm usually on there most of the time. So thank you again. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next week.